Hello everyone on this fine evening. Thank you for all of the inspiration, and I'm really inspired these last few days, and I've come to you today with another cartouche reading, a energetic update and message for the collective, a little bit more on what we can do with the current energies and what's working for us and what's working against us. So today we have a spread, a star spread. I'll show you what that looks like. So 5 cards, and we're going to go at them one by one. So I've been working a little bit with the energies of my days, trying to figure out how to stay on track, not get sidetracked by anything, not get too lazy with what I'm doing, while at the same time keeping up with the self-care. So what I've discovered, essentially, is that I don't like going out very much. But today, I went out. And I attempted to use mindfulness to keep myself on track and not get too overwhelmed by the noises and the lights and the people. And this spread is very much on mindfulness, and we'll get to that at the end again, what that means. So the first card that popped up is about the nature of this question, or the message to the collective. It is the Pyramid card. Now, this card indicates that anything and everything happening to us individually and as a collective is a test. And essentially, it's an initiation period. Something is going on. It's attempting to teach a lesson. And usually, when there's some kind of test condition, there's a level of stress or anxiety involved. But the point is, in the same way that the pyramids give off this energy of timelessness, that type of thing is what we're meaning here. It's the kind of thing that happens all the time. There's going to be a test, and we come out usually victorious from something like this. But it usually takes its time, and we may be feeling a little bit stressed with it. Now, the reason for this stress is an interesting card. It's the Serious card in reverse. As mentioned in previous readings, the Serious card essentially is our connection to a higher self. It's the highest ideals of humanity coming in and allowing us to bring great inventions and intellectuality and beauty into our evolution. But when this thing is in reverse, what we're talking about is not channeling properly from our highest selves. It's some kind of blockage that is allowing us to become sidetracked and allowing our unconsciousness essentially to deceive us. Because when we talk about deceit here, it's not often that it's just a person that is lying to you. We, a lot of the times, are lying to ourselves. And self-deceit can come in many forms, and we may actually be telling ourselves a story that is keeping ourselves from reaching towards our highest potential. This can even talk about us not doing with what we have. So we could have the potential, or we could have the ideas, but we're not doing anything with them. And I suffer from that quite a lot, so this is pretty inspirational right now to see it spread right before me. Now, the factors to consider are another repeated card from a previous reading. It's the Set card in reverse. Now, this card, as mentioned, is a card of malign intent, or a deceptive influence that is not willing you to reach for your highest potential. In this situation, what we're talking about with the case of humanity right now is a severe psychosis. It's a severe case of division. All around, you see people taking sides and fighting essentially against what is one field of consciousness. With this Set card, we're talking about groups that go off on their own and attempt to bring division into the collective. Now, with this situation, we also have our internal dynamics. Any kind of divisive tactics, any kinds of thoughts that we may get sidetracked with, they're keeping us essentially from what we could be doing with our potential. And this is where it got interesting. The solution to the issues of the test and the not channeling our highest potential is fire. Now, this card, as it's basically pure passion, creativity, and raw energy. It's essentially telling you that we are the creators of our own heavens or hells. We may be trapped in a cycle of thinking. We may be trapped in some kind of deception. But at the end of the day, we carry the keys within ourselves to use the available energy towards the means that we're interested in. What I really like about this card is that it talks about all the kinds of creative gifts and things that we can bring into the world, but even more than that, it's directly linked to the highest self and the highest expression for each individual, saying that we've each got our unique creative talent to bring into the world. And with that being said, what is it that would allow us to access a little bit more of these creative gifts? And that's where mindfulness comes in. Now, this card comes out as our outcome, or what we could work on in order to channel better. In this scenario, the Sphinx is reversed. When the Sphinx is upright, it speaks of observation, patience, love, and consideration and care for all that is around us. When it's in the reverse position, what we're talking about is a lack of attention, a lack of consideration or observation to what's going on. And in that situation, you can get really sidetracked. And a lot of the times, it becomes easy to forget that our actions are actually rebounding back onto us. It may not seem like it in the moment, but a wise counsel understands that anything that happens is going to rebound onto us. Now, the practice of mindfulness and observation can essentially allow you to sift between the varying streams of consciousness and thoughts that are going on in the mind, and perhaps not get into any kind of situation that deceives or gets you off of track. So that's where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is essentially the practice of being present, being aware in the moment of what the thoughts are, what's their source. It can become really easy to be overwhelmed by a whole variety of intentions, feelings, emotions, thoughts without really realizing and stopping for a moment to take a breath and bring yourself back to the present moment. And a little bit more about coming back to your I am present, the self that is present internally in that one moment. So the Sphinx being in reverse has us a little bit distracted, not really observing ourselves and our actions as effectively as we could be. And this brings me back to what it is that I was attempting to do today with my day. Usually if I go out for a drive and the city's really crowded and trafficy, I find that I begin to get anxious, and sometimes I'll let my thoughts take over, and before I know it, I'm even more panicked about a situation that's already kind of unpleasant. Today, I wanted to make sure that I was practicing non-reactivity. And this is something that I've been doing for a few weeks now, realizing that our power lies between the stimulus and the response. You know, we may not be controlling what other people are saying or doing, but what we 100% have control over is our response. It's our attitude to the problem. And for the longest time, I didn't even realize that I had the power to respond differently to situations that were going on around me. And so in recently working with that, it's been very interesting to note that actually, yes, I can. Somebody can come up and be really, really distressed about their day or going off about something. And while I can feel sympathy and empathy for them and engage and try to help them, I've realized that there is so much freedom in how I allow myself to get affected and how I allow myself to respond. So the practice of mindfulness has really helped me with this. Just making sure that I'm focusing on my breath. Thoughts are intruding and trying to get me all distracted because all these drivers are trying to cut me off. Well, no, we just bring it back down to, you're fine. You're in the moment, calm down, and keep going. And a very strange thing has happened over these last few weeks. I've realized that I'm genuinely training myself not to react. And it's bringing me so much peace. Whereas previously it was as if I was controlled by my reactions to other people and to situations. Now it's becoming like anything bad could happen. I mean, I haven't tested this out yet because I'm a pretty reactive person, but anything could happen and we could potentially be okay with it. We could let it slide. And maybe in that space, instead of getting so sidetracked by all sorts of different anxiety-inducing thoughts, we could start to be a little bit more on the page of channeling who we really are and what we can really do for this world. That is pretty much what I wanted to bring to you guys tonight. I've noticed a lot of people are commenting on the videos. If you'd like to have a reading about a particular general theme for humanity, or you want to understand something a little bit more in depth, please leave me a comment and I'll be coming back with more videos. Thank you for watching.